All right, so let's get started lying on our backs with a block. Um, oh, I am expecting one more person too. Let me just check and see if they've reached out. No, okay. Uh, so we'll come into a supported bridge pose. And it can be nice to place a blanket underneath your head or your neck. And the block goes under the sacrum. So it's not on the lower back. So the lower back, that's the arch, is still free. And have your knees, hips distance apart, your ankles underneath your knees. And let your arms rest wherever they feel comfortable. And you can have your camera face down to your mat if you want any feedback on your alignment. Doug, are you okay? Do you
I'm trying to get my screen back to where it was,
okay.
and I'm having some trouble.
All right. Today is technical challenge day for us all. So, one of the really nice things about this pose is because it's elevating the hips higher than the heart, it just helps to bring blood and lymph to the heart. This is a very gentle inversions. And we've talked before about how beneficial inversions can be for the body. The other thing that it does is it helps to shift you into the parasympathetic nervous system mode, which is the rest, digest, recover, restore. And that's a nice place to sort of start out our yoga practice. Now, this time of the year in February, there's a lot of colds, flu going around.
Hey, Charlotte, do you have your headset on? I'm finding it difficult to hear you.
Okay. No, because I got a new computer and in the past the it was working, but let me go run and grab it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be right back. So hold this pose and I'll be right back. All right. How's this volume? Give me a thumbs up if it's any better. Okay, great. Thank you. And thanks for that feedback. All right, so you've had several moments here to enjoy this upside down. Now we're going to incorporate, and Barbara, this may be new for you. So just be patient. It can take a little bit of practice getting this, what we call a diaphragmatic breath. So you'll begin by, as you breathe in, invite the breath into the belly and then let it travel up to the ribs. And then exhale ribs and belly. I'll keep repeating that. As you breathe in, imagine the diaphragm. It's traveling from just underneath the rib cage down to the belly. And then as you exhale, it flies back underneath the ribs. And so with our hips lifted, we're actually sort of, again, turning our diaphragm upside down. So it needs to go against gravity to get down to the belly. So you can visualize this. The diaphragm is a muscle. It's kind of shaped like a parachute and it flies up underneath the ribs. And this is a muscle. This is a muscle of respiration. And like all muscles, when we use it, it gets stronger. Now I'm going to offer an add-on for this. And this is what is sometimes referred to as the Uddiyana Bandha. It's the second block. And I'll describe it. And then if it seems a little too esoteric, then you just continue with, this deep belly rib breath. But as you breathe in, the add-on would be to release the breath and hold the breath out. Now, without bringing any breath, imagine you're stretching the ribs apart. So there's like a little vacuum that happens. And then inhale, the belly and the ribs expand. Exhale, holds the breath out. Imagine you're spreading the ribs apart. And then inhale the breath back into the belly and the ribs. And repeat this again, knowing that this sense of spreading the ribs apart while you're holding the breath out first we have to connect the brain to the action, to that body action. So visualizing it is the first step. And the more we visualize it, then you may end up finding, oh, it's actually happening. So try not to get frustrated if it's difficult to do this last part of it. Just one more round of this. And then pause and return to your natural. And now extend the legs up towards the ceiling. Again, a nice way to just flip everything upside down. Allow the blood and the lymph to travel back to your heart. And let's just circle the ankles. Again, getting rid of, you can circle your wrists too. My wrists just kind of start circling when I circle the ankles. Reverse direction. This is a nice way to warm up the joints. Again, if you've been outside shoveling and you've got that cold to the bones, it might take a little bit longer to warm up this morning. Now pause that action. Now you're welcome to stay here. Again, this is a really restorative pose. And it's helping again to bring the blood to the heart to help the circulation, because blood flow is energy. And so it might seem surprising that pausing, lying here, tapping into gravity to help the circulation is increasing your energy. But this is using gravity and allowing that gravity to bring the blood flow back to the heart. And if you think about how much time you spend with your legs below your heart, kind of makes sense that, doing this, I like to do it halfway through the day, a little energy boost. All right, you can stay here. The next option is going to be a little bit of core work. And I invite you to really engage the core and protect the lower back. Now, when I say engage the core, draw the belly button back to the spine and then up towards the ribs. On your exhale, you're going to lower the left leg towards the floor. It doesn't have to touch. You just lower it to the point where the lower back feels comfortable. And then inhale, use the core, bring that left leg up. The right leg lowers down. You might notice they lower different heights. And then inhale, engage the core, bring that right leg up. And you're going to alternate. So you flow in rhythm with your breath. And slower, you're not going to be using gravity. So we want to try to use that core muscle as you're bringing the leg back up. Nice. And this is also, make sure that this is a stretch for the front of the hip. Make sure that it's not too much. You want to adjust if you feel any sharp or tingling sensations along the front of the hip. And finish up an equal amount on both sides. And then draw your knees in towards you. Just give them a little hug. Lower them to the floor. Slide the block out from under you. Keep the hips lifted. And the block just goes within reach. Just be grabbing that again. On your exhale, slowly lower the hips to the ground. We'll do a flowing bridge here. Press into the feet, lift the hips up, and then the arms can lift beyond the head. And then exhale, you lower down. And again, flow with your breath. And it can be interesting to just notice what's going on in different body parts. For example, notice the feet. Notice where the weight goes on the feet. You want to try to balance it evenly between front, back, inner, and outer. Notice what happens to the knees. Do they wobble out to the side? Or can you guide them to track towards the wall in front of you? Next time you lower down, pause here. Draw the right leg in towards you. Give it a little hug. And then on your exhale, you're going to take that right knee towards the left. This is a flow. Inhale back to the center. Just 2 more times. Right knee comes to the left, so we're sort of teasing out a spinal twist. After your third one, you pause. Give that knee a gentle hug. Stay here if you're looking for the more sort of restorative option of this practice. If you're looking for the more heating option, float the left leg off the mat 3 to 4 inches. Now, whatever option you've chosen, breathing is not optional. Breathing in and out through the nose. And then lower that left leg. Extend the right leg long, arms reach overhead. Walk your legs towards the left. Reach for that right arm and stretch the upper body to the left. So you're creating sort of a banana shape with your body. Have the feet flex. And you could even cross the right ankle over the left. That's going to intensify the stretch on that outer right hip. Just notice how this feels and notice if maybe there's an option that you're doing that doesn't feel good in your body, and just back up. Come back to the center. Nice full body stretch. Walk the legs over towards the right. Grab the left wrist and stretch the upper body to the right. Notice if crossing the left ankle over the right is a good option on this side. Keeping in mind the 2 sides can be quite different. Center, Release the arms to your sides. Draw the left knee in. We're going to flow side to side here 3 times. Left knee towards the right, back to center. And I'm using my right hand to guide that left knee. And my left arm is out to the side. And you come to center. Hold the knee for a few breaths. Draw the right knee in to meet it, and then circle the knees apart. Again, we started with the wrists and ankles. Now we're getting into the hip joint, just bringing some movement, some warmth, some lubrication of the synovial fluid into the joints. I'll reverse the direction. You might notice the hips are rolling forward and back. So you're doing a pelvic tilt and then a little tuck. And knees come together. Pause here. Grab your block. Place it, place it between the knees. And extend the shins so they're 90 degrees from the thighs. So having the knees directly over the hips, sort of our starting point, just notice how this feels on the lower back. You feel the lower back pop up off the ground, bring the knees closer. If it feels okay, if it's not feeling very challenging in the core, you could take the knees slightly away from you. So just kind of play around with the positioning of the knees and notice how that shows up in the lower back and in the front core. Arms come to the sides. Deep breath in. On your exhale, knees lower towards the left. Not all the way down. Use the bottom knee to press into the block, and you're using the obliques to bring you up to center. You lower to the other side. Press up. And flow side to side. And again, you might notice that the 2 sides have different range of motions. And one of the biggest challenges is to sort of respect the differences in our body, to listen to the sensations that the body is offering you. And just finish up on the right side. So both sides are balanced and come to the center. Lower the feet. The block is still between us. Arms come to the sides. Press into the feet, let the hips rise. Imagine you're spinning the thighs inward, like you're a human Pez dispenser, and you're trying to release the Pez, which is the block, to the floor. And there you might get sort of that sensation of the front of the hips drawing towards each other. And then lower down. Right, let's remove the block. And we're going to come up to table. So you're on hands and knees. And take the time to spread the fingers wide. See if you can have more of the weight on the thumb and index part of the hand. And let's do a few cat and cows. On your inhale, round. Your exhale, arch. And just come to the center, the neutral spine. Look towards the left, creating a little C curve in your spine. So we're offering length in the spine before we get into our deep, deep twists. You could take that right hand to the outside of the left. Spin the fingertips back towards the feet. And breathe into the right ribs. Come back through center. Deep breath in, and on your exhale, look over the right shoulder. Maybe take that left hand to the outside of the right. Fingertips turning back towards the feet. And back to center. You've still got your socks on because of the cold. This would be a good time to take them off. So be transitioning to standing poses. All right, fingers are spread wide. Float the hips off the ground. Extend the legs up coming into your downward dog. And notice how this feels energetically. Notice how it feels physically in the body. Would it be better to stay in your child's pose? And you can paddle out the legs. Janet, see if you can bring your feet closer to your hands. Yeah, and then shift your hips back so you don't have so much weight in your, in your shoulders. Does that feel better? Good. Good, good, good. Cindy, you could do the same thing. Walk your hands back towards your feet, even a little bit more. Yeah. Press your hips back. Yeah, so you're taking some of the weight out of your hands. Nice. Nice. All right, so we're in our downward dog. Let's walk the hands all the way back to the feet. We're going to come in a forward fold. Knees have a nice a bend in them, so they actually make a little shelf for your forearms. This helps to support the lower back. And then begin slowly straightening the legs and then bending them. Relax the head, the neck, the jaw. Just feel those hamstrings beginning to warm up. And we're doing this gently. We're listening to the cues of the body. Relax the jaw. Now, next time the legs are lengthened, and I don't say straight because there's a good chance they're not going to be perfectly straight this early in our practice. Hands come to the hips. Press into the feet, and then rise up. Pause and enjoy a gentle back bend, stretching the front of the hips. Imagine the breath travels up the front of the body, circles the crown of the head, and then travels down the back of the body. On your next breath in, arms reach up, gentle back bend. And then you're gonna arch towards the left. And let's just put that left hand on the hip this time. So we can really focus on the stretching, the lengthening of the right side of the body. And this left hand is making sure you don't sort of crunch the left side of the body. All right, here's the challenge. Can you do that deep belly breath? Exhale, watch the diaphragm fly under the ribs. Hold the breath out. Stretch the ribs apart. One more time, breathe into the belly, the ribs. Exhale, hold the breath out. Spread the ribs apart. Inhale back to center. Inhale, both arms up. Arch to the right, take that right hand on the right hip. Breathe into the belly. the ribs. Exhale, hold the breath out. Spread the ribs apart. Inhale, belly, ribs. Exhale, hold the breath out. Spread the ribs apart. Inhale back up to center. Exhale, release the arms down. And just roll out the shoulders. And let's make our way to the front of our space. And we'll begin our twisted flow. So we will be doing some knee down lunges. So if you want to have a blanket to pad, that could be helpful. Inhale, reach up, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold half. Press into the legs, nice long spine. On your exhale, left leg steps back and lower the knee down. Now take your time, there's no hurry getting here. Once you get here, you can begin straightening the front legs and then bending it. So coming into a little flow like that. And this is where blocks can really help. Again, nice opportunity to warm up those hips. Get the circulation going, get muscles warm. Next time the knee's bent, pause here. Inhale, can you bring both arms up? If not, you keep them on the ground. Can you flip the right palm to the ceiling? Grab the wrist and stretch, the left palm, and stretch to the right. Getting that side body warm and long. Come back to the center. Release the hands down. Toes curl under. And if it works to lift the back knee, you lift it. Otherwise, keep the knee down. And we repeat, straightening the front leg and bending. Now, for many people doing this, having hands on the blocks just isn't an option. You could have hands on chairs as you do this, or you could keep the knee on the ground. Just one more round. Pause with the knee bent. Again, you can have it on the floor or have it up. Left hand comes onto the block on the inside of the right leg. And then inhale, you twist to the right. Breathe into the belly. Exhale, diaphragm flies up under the ribs. One more time, breathe into the belly. Diaphragm flies up under the ribs. Exhale back to center. Lower the back knee if it's not already. Take the front knee back to meet it. Extend the arms out for puppy pose. So the hips are over the knees. Maybe the forehead comes to the mat. And you offer an opening in the upper back. On your next inhale, slither into your Sphinx pose. The more restorative option is going to be crocodile. Wherever you are, just invite get a little bit of rhythmic vinyasa where we just sort of flow intuitively in this pose. What body parts need a little bit of opening? Which body parts need a little coaxing? And then you either stay here in your Sphinx pose, the toes curl under, and you come into a form of forearm plank. And again, if you've been away from your yoga for a while, maybe hips and thighs come up. If it sounds all right to lift the entire leg, then that's what you do. Eases to the floor. All right, let's try that breath here. Breathe into the belly and ribs. Exhale, diaphragm flies under the rib cage. Hold the breath out. Spread the ribs apart. Breath in belly and ribs. Exhale, hold the breath out. Inflate the ribs. Breath in. Release. Nice. Come on into crocodile if you're not there already. Let the legs flow side to side. Extend the arms long in front of you. So reaching towards the wall in front of you. Actively press into the right leg and hip. See if you can press in all the way up as far as the navel. And then inhale, floats the left leg up. Now we're trying to you don't want to get into the lower back. So you want to feel this in the hamstring and the glute. If you start feeling it in the lower back, lower the leg down. And just take a couple more breaths. Notice the more you press into the right leg, the right side of the body, you might just notice the left leg floats up a little higher. And then lower the left leg down. Root into the left leg. Now, can you bring that all the way up as far as the navel area? Pressing in, and then just start by inviting a lightness into the right side of the body. And then let that right leg rise. Notice where you feel the engagement. Think about lengthening that right leg away from you so that knee is straight. So again, the priority is not how high it goes. We want to feel this in the hamstring and the glute. We want to feel length in the hip. And then you lower it down. Okay, take the arms under the shoulders. Press up through table. Downward dog or child's pose. Pedal out the legs. And just notice how this feels in the shoulders. If you're feeling the shoulders creep up towards the ears, maybe you need to shorten your dog a little bit so you can press the hips back and just shift the weight into the lower body. And then walk the hands back to the feet. Nice deep forward fold. Thighs are making a little support system. The forearms can rest. Begin straightening the legs and then bending. So in the beginning, we went upside down to help the circulation, to help the blood get to the heart. So the muscle that is number 2 in circulation are the calves. Calves help to pump the blood, circulate it. All right, let the legs, and when they're straight, pause. Hands come to the hips, and inhale, you rise. Pause in a gentle back bend. Again, watch the breath rise up. Lifting the belly, lifting the chest, lifting the corners of the mouth. Traces across the skull, relaxes the shoulders, lengthens the tailbones, roots into the heels. And then inhale, rise. Arms come overhead. float the right palm up to the ceiling, grab the wrists. And if it works, keep hold of the wrist as you stretch to the right. Roll that left shoulder back. Press into the outside. That left foot. Come up to center. Switch sides. Back to center. Exhale, release the arms down. And roll out the shoulders. Let's make our way to the front of the space. Take that on the other side. I want to just check in and see how's everybody doing with this sequence.
Good.
Doing all right? Are you not able to? Oh, you can't unmute yourself? How's that? I just asked you to unmute.
There you go.
Okay.
So it's fine. The sequence is fine. I can tell no difference when you started using your headset or not. Your voice is the same to me. It could just be my ears, but
Oh, hold on. Is that better? Is
not
that
really.
What's that?
I mean, it's better because you're really close to your computer.
Because I just looked and it said I was using my computer speaker, but now it says I'm using my AirPods speaker.
Well, I won't be able to tell until you're back on your mat.
Okay. All right. So how's this? Testing, testing, testing. How's that?
It's better for
Okay.
me anyway.
Okay.
I
Can you
tell
get
the difference. It
Cindy,
sounds
did
the same, both
it sounds
ways.
the same?
Yeah,
Okay.
to me.
Huh.
I mean,
All
it
right.
sounds okay to me, but I just don't notice the difference when you go away.
Okay. Huh. All right. All right. Doug, can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. And Janet, can you hear me all right? Okay. All right. Okay. How is
I'm
this,
gonna
Barbara?
go. Yeah, it's better for me. I'm gonna
Okay.
go back on mute because there are interruptions happening here.
Okay. All right. All right. So we'll take the other side now. Inhale, reach up, take a gentle back bend. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Now, step the left leg back for a knee down lunge. And again, take your time getting there. Once you get there, you can begin to flow, straightening and then bending. Now, also, we talked in the beginning about just energy level, because this time of the year we're indoors a bit more, so there can be a little bit more colds going around. And one of the systems of the body that is instrumental in your immune system is the lymph system. And we have a lot of lymphs right in the thighs and in the groin area. And there's no pump. And the way that we help to stimulate that is by moving and stretching. So next time the knee's bent, pause here. And then inhale. And if the arms can come up and you're feeling stable and balanced and the back knee's not complaining or the front knee's not complaining, there's no body parts complaining, then pause here. Maybe flip the left palm up, grab the wrist and stretch to the right. And come back to the center. Release the hands to the blocks. The back knee comes up. See if that feels all right. If not, you drop it down and we flow.
So you just notice the different muscles that are affected by having the knee up or down. You might find with the knee up, you're getting a nice calf stretch, which again, we mentioned that being key to circulation. All right, next time the knee's bent, pause here, set up for your twist. Left foot to the inside of the right. Inhale, right arm sweeps up. See if you can keep it. That knee is up. See if you can keep it straight. So really press through that heel. Exhale, come back to the center. Lower the knee down. Bring the right knee back to meet the left. Come into that puppy pose. And we've got a lot of lymph underneath the armpits. So again, we're doing a nice stretch here. And slither into your Sphinx pose. Again, if you want something a little more restorative, you drop down to to crocodile. If you want something a little bit more heating, you take a variation of forearm plank. Now, wherever you are, let's try that breath. Breathe into the belly and the ribs. Exhale, hold the exhale, inflate the ribs. Breathe in belly, ribs, exhale, stretch the ribs, and release down. Arms extend forward. Drop all the way down, setting up for that Shalabhasana. Press into the left leg, press into the hip bone. See if you can go all the way up to the navel center. And then float the right leg up. Nope. Really press through that right knee. You want the knee straight. And just notice if sometimes it's kind of a fun exercise to, your attention is shifting from one to the other and you're doing one thing and you forget about the other. Are you still pressing into the left leg? Press into the left leg. Notice what happens on the right side of the body. Just notice sort of the call and response between the two sides of the body. And then lower the right leg down. Press into the right leg. Press into the right hip. Let the left leg get light. And then lift it up. Extend it away. That knee is straight. Now, if you feel this in the lower back, lower the leg down and stretch it away from you a little bit more. And then release down. Let the hands come under the forehead, knees bend, and the legs sway from side to side. Nice massage for the thighs. Release the legs, hands come under the shoulders, press up to table, downward dog. Again, the option for child's pose is always available. And a little bend in the knee as you walk your hands back to your feet. Resting the forearms, relax the back. And then hands to the hips as you inhale, rise up. Pause for a moment. Feel that opportunity to stretch the front of the hips. So undoing the flexion that we do when we're sitting. So if you had a blanket down, you can slide it to the side. We'll do a couple of warrior two sequences. Inhale, reach up, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Left leg steps back for warrior two. Inhale, open the arms up, stretch them out. Relax the shoulders, look out over the right fingertips. And let's flow with the breath. So inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. And you're welcome to close your eyes. Just observe the body as it flows in and out of this pose. Next time you're in the pose, pause here. Breathe into the belly and the ribs. Exhale, diaphragm flies under the rib cage. Pause, hold the breath, inflate the ribs. Breath in, belly, ribs. Exhale, stand the ribs. Inhale, return to your natural breath. Flip the right palm to the ceiling and reach up and back. Keep the right knee bent. So think about creating space in between the thigh and the lower rib cage. Breathe into the belly, the ribs. Exhale, diaphragm underneath the ribs. Hold the breath out. Inhale, belly, ribs. Exhale, hold the breath out. Inhale, return to your breath. And return to warrior two. Windmill the hands to the front. Step the back foot up to meet the front. Inhale, rise, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Right leg extends back. Open the arms. Find your warrior two. When you're ready, you flow in and out. See if you can let the breath set the pace. So the inhale is when you straighten the arms. And the exhale is when you lower. Just let this be sort of like a meditative movement. And then you pause in your warrior two. Flip the left palm up in reverse. We'll do two of those Uddiyana Bandha breaths. Breathe into the belly and the ribs. Exhale, hold the breath out. And breathe in belly and ribs. Exhale, hold the breath out. Inhale, return to your breath. And next inhale back to your warrior two. Windmill the hands, step to the front of your space. And inhale, rise, gentle back bend. Nice. Exhale, let's fold forward. Halfway, press into the legs, nice long spine. Take a little sequence into pigeon. So let's step back to table. And you're welcome to do this from table. Or turn the toes under and come into downward dog. I'm going to lift the right leg up. Open up the hip. So let's start by keeping the leg straight. And you're just trying to stack that right hip on top of the left. And then you bend the knee. Now you counter this rotation of the hips by pressing into that right hand. so that that right shoulder stays level. So you're twisting from the below the waist and then level off the hip. Draw the right knee into the rib cage. Just pause here for a moment in a hanging plank, or you've got that left knee on the ground. And take the knee over to the left elbow, over to the right elbow, left elbow, right elbow, and then into your pigeon. Now you can do this on your back. Any knees don't like this variation. If you're in this, curl the left toes under and lift that right knee up. And just a little pulsation here. Just inviting that left hip to find a little bit more length, a little bit more space. And then you lower that knee down. You can flatten the top of the foot and just let the weight shift left to right. Again, we're just trying to coax the muscles to lengthen. We don't want to come too quickly into this movement, especially with the psoas, especially with the front of the left hip, because that can contract, can sort of rebel if the stretch is too deep. And then if you like, you can drop down to the restorative pigeon. If you want to layer on that breath, you breathe into the belly and the ribs. Exhale, hold the breath out. Repeat at your own pace. One more full round of breath. And make your way upward and back to either downward dog or come into child's pose, or you come into table if you're doing it from there and just extend the legs back. You just notice what body parts, it's pretty deep stretch, need a counter stretch. When you're ready, we'll get ready for the other side. The left leg lifts and you open up the hip. And so you can find there's this balancing act between rotating the hip and keeping the shoulders grounded. You can bend the knee, level off the hip, bring that left knee into the rib cage. Now root to rise here. Press through that right heel. That's going to give you some support to hold this. Take the knee to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, and into pigeon. Again, no hurry getting in here. Once you do, float that right knee off the ground. And again, just a little pulsation here. So it's not a bounce. It's much more intuitive than that. You're ready, you can release that knee down and maybe just shifting the weight from left to right. And just notice maybe you're ready to settle into a static stretch, or maybe this pulsation is what you need, especially if it's been a while since you've done this pose. You can add on that breath. You breathe into the belly, ribs. Exhale, hold the breath out. Inhale, belly, ribs. Exhale. Find your own rhythm. One more breath. And then make your way up and choose a pose that works for you to just bring balance after that deep stretch. So maybe downward dog, maybe table with leg extension. You're on the ground. Maybe there's something else. And exhale. Lower the knees to the mat. And let's come to seated. So you're welcome if it's cold where you are to put your socks on. We'll be doing some seated twists and then coming onto our back. So we're done standing. And the first pose that we'll do will be Matsyendrasana. So we're going to start in a seated pose. And you may want to use a folded blanket just to elevate your hips. So what that does when you elevate your hips is for many people without elevating the hips, there's a little rounding in the lower back. So just a little bit of a lift allows the hips to roll and that natural curve to come into the lower back. So legs are extended. Draw the right leg in. Now you can stay like this, or you could take that right leg across the left. Hold the shin, inhale, get length. Find that natural curve. Left hand to the outside of the right knee. So we're not twisting yet, we're just setting up, and the right hand comes behind you. Now use this right hand as a kickstand to get length in the lower back. You're looking straight ahead. Deep breath in. Press hand into knee, knee into hand. Draw the left hip back. It's going to want to follow you. And then as you exhale to the right, keep drawing that left hip back. You can maybe slide the forearm to the outside of that right knee. Pressing knee into forearm, forearm into knee. Sliding that left hip back, keeping it grounded. Exhale, come back through center and take a little counter stretch. Extend the right leg. Let the legs jiggle like really fast windshield wipers. And draw the left knee in, either keeping it here, or if you're gonna cross it over, slide the right leg about 30 degrees to the left of center, and you cross the right leg over. Hands on the shin and use that to get that nice long spine. Because if your spine is rounded and then you start twisting, that's not good for the vertebrae. So we always want to have length before we twist. And then take your left hand behind you, and that's helping you to keep a nice long spine. Draw the right hip back as you exhale towards the left. You can layer on that breath, breathing into the belly and the ribs. Exhale, hold. And then just do it at a pace that you feel comfortable with. On your next exhale, come back to the center. Take a counter stretch in the other direction. Come back to center, uncross the legs. And this time, knees are bent, and let the legs just flow from side to side. All right. Let's come onto our backs. Have a strap. It's a good idea to have a block within reach. Have your blanket nearby, anything that you're going to want to use for Shavasana. Have it handy. And when you're ready, you just come onto your back, knees bent, feet on the floor, and allow the body to receive the message that this is integration time. Time to prepare for Shavasana. Right knee comes in and the thigh comes just in front of the heel. And up to you, you can extend the left leg long or keep it bent. Just allow that right leg to find length. So we're not pulling the leg behind us. We're allowing the thigh to be an object that the leg stretches into. And then the thigh comes in the right hand. And that right leg releases off to the right. Inhale back through center, high in the right hand. And take that leg across the body. If you got your block nearby, you could maybe let it rest on it. If you want to add that belly breath, you can do so here. If you want to be more in just sort of a chillaxing and allowing, you just allow the breath. And inhale, the right leg comes up to center. Remove the tie, give the knee a little hug. Bring the left knee in. Lower the right foot to the floor, and the tie goes on the left foot. And slide your block to the other side if you're using that for your twist. It'd be interesting to just notice the two hamstrings. One feels a little less eager to lengthen. Just breathe into it and watch. Watch it open. Watch it resist. When you're ready, the tie goes in the left left hand, and you leg out to the left. Letting a nice stretch on the inner thigh. The breath in brings you up through center, tie in the right hand, and then across the body. And go back to center. Remove the tie, hug the knee. Watch the breath. Stand there, left leg when you're ready. And find Shavasana. Allowing the body to integrate the movements and the breath patterns. It reminds me of I was taking my puppy to puppy training, and they talked about, doing a brief, probably 5 to 10 minutes of training, and letting them rest, and then they come back, and there's been all this improvement when they were able to sort of assimilate the training and the new patterns. And this is for us as well. Shavasana is a great opportunity for the body to integrate, especially some of those more subtle movement patterns that we're challenging the body to do. Your mind starts to wander, just bring it back to watching the breath. Just allow your body to be here now. Offering the present moment as a gift. No need to worry about the future or dwell on the past. Just hang out here in the present moment. On your next breath, be a little longer, a little bit deeper. And just notice the additional movements that come with this longer, deeper breath. When you're ready, you can wiggle the fingers and toes. Maybe let the head gently roll from side to side. When you're ready, slowly make your way to your side, taking a moment of gratitude for your body, to yourself, for taking the time to prioritize and nourish your body, your mind, your spirit. When you're ready, slowly make your way up to seated. If you'd like to join me in a chant of Om, take a deep breath in.
Mm.
Om. Namaste.
Namaste.